Hey, what's good? It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. We're here live on the 20th of July, talking about United, all things United, everything you need to know about United, what's going on, all the shenanigans. What's going on at United? Well, we seem to have problems with transfers. We seem to be the only ones who have these issues with transfers, sadly. Now it's the news about Todibo. Todibo, I was excited about a cheap option for us. He was affordable, talented, and now it looks like we're going to miss out on Todibo because of these ridiculous UEFA rules that seem to only apply to us. Or is it our fault? Because it seems that other teams seem to navigate their way through these things. They seem to, Manchester City, for example, seem to navigate their way through. They're smart, they're savvy when it comes to dealing with transfers and dealing with the rules. And my issue is, if the rules can be manipulated, what's the point in having the rules in the first place? Because they could be manipulated. Like Manchester City, I'm manipulating the rules. So why don't we manipulate the rules? I'm not 100% blaming Ineos, but we've been on this transfer for ages, for months. And now they realise, we cannot sign Todibo. It's just incompetence of the highest order. We should be prepared. We should be ready for this. We should have a plan in place in case of things like this. I don't agree with the rule. I don't agree with the UEFA rules. I think the UEFA rulings are ridiculous. I think they're making the game too complicated. Why not just leave the rules? Because at the end of the day, they can be manipulated. And it's one rule forever, one rule for the next. And it seems to be United are always the ones who are scrutinised when it comes to transfers. Now that these are short in regards to options, we need a right-sided centre-back. Varane has gone. We need someone to replace Varane. Todibo was that choice. Now I'm afraid he's probably going to go to Spurs or Chelsea, which is not going to be good for us, and it's going to strengthen our rivals. We need a right-centred centre-back. With Euro going to Real Madrid, I don't know why he's going to Real Madrid. Real Madrid have got an embarrassment of riches. Real Madrid have won everything already. They've got nothing to achieve, have they? So what's the point of going there when you're not going to create history there? They've already achieved everything. Go to a team that are actually ready to achieve something, ready and have the hunger to do something. Todibo is another one who's going to slip through our fingers. It's in a long line of players who we're going to miss out on. We got more players leaving as well, of course. But my main concern is defence. And if we haven't got a right-sided defender to replace Varane, we're in big trouble. If we have Johnny Evans at the start of the season, we're in big trouble. And my hopes will start going from up here to down there. Because last night I predicted that we will have a title charge next season. But of course, it depends all on the transfers that Ineos do this summer, doesn't it? So at the moment, it's not looking good. At the moment, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. We look a bit like unorganised. The Todibo one should have been planned a long time ago. Well, we thought it was planned a long time ago, didn't we? Because they've been after Todibo for a long time. Jim Ratcliffe owns Nice, so we thought that's ours. 40 million in the bank, a quality defender comes through the door. Unfortunately, with everything, it gets scampered, especially with United and UEFA, where there's silly rules, there's stupid rules that they just seem to in place on football, trying to overcomplicate football, trying to ruin the game somewhat. Because the rules are being manipulated, guys. The rules are being manipulated. Man City are manipulating the rules. They own Troyes. They loaned him out to Troyes or something, Troyes in France, and then they loaned him to their player Savio to Girona, and blah blah blah. So they're manipulating the rules. So it's scandalous, to be honest with you. It's a silly rule. Hopefully we can find a solution because at the end of the day, it looks like we are not planned in regards to centre backs. We have Branthwaite, who at the moment Everton are still stalling. We've told Everton we won't be held to ransom. We've heard that before, not being held to ransom. We've told Everton we won't be held to ransom. But Branthwaite is a left-sided centre-back. We need a right-sided centre-back. And we need one quick. I believe our scouts are looking at players. I believe our scouts should be looking at players, should have backup plans. But it's a shame that we never get our first target. You know, it's a shame that we wanted to Debo. We're not going to get to Debo. It's another setback, you know. And defensively, we were weak last season. And this is an area that we really need to strengthen. In regards to outgoings, Greenwood's having talks with Lazio at the moment. Lazio and Serie A. Lazio used to be a big club, a massive club. Well, they still are in some people's eyes. They are in talks with Greenwood, but there is issues with Greenwood's transfer to Lazio and the transfer of Sancho to Juventus if Greenwood goes to Lazio. Apparently, there's some complications there. If Sancho goes to Juventus, if Sancho goes to Juventus, it hampers the Greenwood deal. So it's a complete mess. You know, so we got to get it sorted out real quick, because at the moment we haven't really done anything in the transfer market. We're still sitting there on our toes. We're standing there on our toes doing nothing in the transfer market. Things are hotting up. Things are moving. We need to move quick. We need to have the players in by pre-season. It's been a while since we've had players in at pre-season. It's been a while since our manager has had the luxury of picking his full team at pre-season. We've always had issues with players and injuries and players not in, players in at the last minute. That's why we always start slow, just like Ten Hag's first season, just Ten Hag's second season as well. We start slow because we don't get the players we need in. And this is the issue at the moment. Every single season, we're late. Every single season, we're not bringing the players in. So we need to get a move on. Todibo is out the window by the looks of it, so we need to have a backup plan. What is that backup plan? No, we cannot rely on Johnny Evans. Respect to Johnny Evans, but we cannot rely on him. He's 36, 37 years old. We need to find a centre-back that is going to be our first choice centre-back. And of course, Johnny Evans will be playing games next season, of course. He will be off the bench, etc. We need that experience as well. Now, in regards to transfers away from Todibo, there is Edson Alvarez. Edson Alvarez is a player who plays for West Ham, a defensive midfielder who plays for West Ham. A good player. Is it the type of player we should be looking at? I'm not too sure. I didn't see much of him last year. A couple of appearances. He looked good. Another Erik ten Hag product from Ajax. I thought that Ineos were doing the transfers, Barada and Wilcox were doing the transfers, but obviously this is a Ten Hag signing because Alvarez used to play for Ajax. It's a coincidence. If it is a coincidence. Well, Alvarez now plays for West Ham as defensive midfielder. We need reinforcements in the midfield. Would he be a good buy for you? Would you like that buy? Would you agree with that buy, Edson Alvarez? I mean, it's out the blue. He's got Premier League experience. It could be a decent coup for us. You know, we could do well to get him. We'll do well to get him. West Ham, though, will be holding back for a lot of money. And you know what happens when Premier League to Premier League is a lot of money involved. So we don't know if that's going to go through. It's just rumours at the moment. So we have to wait and see what's going on about that. We've also got the news about Ten Hag's contract. Ten Hag wants £10 million injected into his contract. So if Ineos decide to part ways with Ten Hag, they've got to pay Ten Hag 10 million. It's an absolute farce at the moment. I agree. They should give him the money. They should show their belief in him, prove their faith in Ten Hag, really prove, because obviously Ten Hag's a little bit insecure with what was going on during these last few months with Ineos talking to other managers. Of course, he's going to be a little bit insecure, wouldn't you? I would be as well. But I believe that they will get that done. They will get that done soon. But we really need transfers. And at the moment, it looks like our squad is going to get smaller, not bigger. We need to fix up and get our transfers sorted really quickly. There's a couple of other players, of course. We're after Roque from Barcelona, but Roque is going to cost quite a bit. He's just signed for Barcelona recently, and it hasn't worked out with him. The agent of Roque is having problems with Barcelona. He believes he hasn't been given a fair shot. But as we've seen over the years, we don't have a really good relationship with Barcelona. I think the only player we signed for Barcelona is Valdez, a very long time ago in goal as a backup goalkeeper. Fabrizio Romano is reporting the Alvarez deal. How much would he go for? I mean, from West Ham, you're looking at 50 million minimum. They're gonna really squeeze us, you know, because the Premier League is always going to be a tough one, isn't it? It's always going to be we're always going to be used for as a money, as like a money tree. So this is the problem with signing from the Premier League. Maybe we need to get some scouts out there. There's some players who play in Holland. There's a couple of players I like at PSV. There's players all around the world that we can look at. I believe we should be in the Euros scouting for players, looking for the next big thing. I've seen a couple of players certain players playing for Albania and Poland who look decent. So we should go out there and look at these teams and look at the players, because I'm sure that they will go for quite a fair price, you know. Another player on our radar is Ederson from Atalanta, another player who I am very impressed with. I think he's one of the next big things. But what concerns me is that we're not picking up players early. We need to start picking up these players early. We need to scout and find these players. Teams like Atalanta are finding these players. Teams like Real Madrid are finding players. They're getting players like Endrick early. They're getting him in early. God knows where he's going to play. They've got Mbappe. They've got Endrick. They've got Vinicius Jr. They've got Rodrigo. They've got Bellingham. Where are they going to play? Is it just being spoiled? Have they got too many? Are they being greedy? Is this what it is? Are they being greedy? Are Real Madrid greedy? It looks that way, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, they like taking all the youth, the good prospects in the world, and just sweeping them up so no other team can get them. It seems like that. But our main concern is the Premier League and teams improving, and we're not improving. Todibo was a big disappointment with the UEFA ruling. I'm sure if we got our heads screwed on, we could try and arrange something with UEFA, see what we can do. Tactically work it out, just like Man City do. Work it out, find a way. Don't just give up. Is that a money-saving technique? Giving up. Oh, it's because of UEFA that we can't sign him. Is that just a technique for them to give up? Is that a technique for them to just to say, look, we're not going to sign him. Oh, well, we're going to have to make do with Johnny Evans. Do you think that? I have no trust in United in regards to that. And remember, the Glazers are still in charge. Ineos only have 25%. The Glazers still have to pull out of their pocket for transfers. So, in my opinion, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of reality that they would do something like that. Like say, well, we tried to sign Todibo, but UEFA have blocked it. Blah blah blah. I would feel more encouraged if we did get some players out the door, Greenwood and Sancho, of course. If we did manage to get them both out the door, that is something like 80 million, which will go towards our transfer fund. So I think if we get them out the door, we could start moving a little bit quicker. In regards to Jared Branthwaite, United are coming in with another offer. It seems like they want to get this deal done quickly. They want to get the deal over the line quickly. My only concern is that we have Martinez as a left-sided centre-back. Yes, we need a squad. Yes, we need backup for Martinez, because last season, Martinez was injured and we cannot rely on Martinez. Branthwaite is a very talented player. I like Branthwaite. I think he's the future. But we have to concentrate on the areas of the pitch that we desperately need, which is a right centre-back, a centre midfield, probably a right winger and a striker, because last season we only had Højlund up front. We need to see if we could sign a striker. And speaking of strikers, Xerxes. Xerxes looks like he wants to come to United. It looks like Bologna are playing hardball with Xerxes. Milan are not too happy with his agent. His agent wants 12 million euros as part of his package, as part of the package. How can an agent want 12 million euros just for showing up and wearing a suit, basically? That's what he's doing. For Xerxes, a talented player. Teams are going to be after Xerxes. So what is the agent? Why does the agent want 12 million euros? What's he doing? What exactly is he doing? Did he nurture him? Did he bring him up from the academy? Did he give him his chance in the first team? 12 million euros for an agent. You know, Alex Ferguson used to say back in the day that he never used to get on with agents. I'm starting to know why. I'm starting to believe why. Because the agents usually, more times than not, scamper deals. They're the ones who take in too much. Their greed holds no bounds. And Sir Alex Ferguson pointed this out a number of times. Sir Alex Ferguson was way before his time, a very smart man. And he knew about agents, and he spoke about the problem with agents in the future. Now, 12 million euros when the deal for the player is like 45 million euros is a bit crazy, isn't it? In my opinion, that's a bit. What is that like? My maths isn't really good, to be honest with you. My maths ain't great. So what's that, 25%? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 25%? Yeah, Kenny, good morning. How are you? But the thing is, will Xerxes pay that? He still wants 12 million, doesn't he? Will Xerxes pay that money? At the end of the day, it's going to end up with the club. At the end of the day, the club are going to fork out. The club are going to fork out. If they really want Xerxes is going to turn around and say, well, I don't want to pay 12 million, blah, blah, blah. You know, so they're going to say, well, United, could you pay the 12 million and I'll go to United? Because AC Milan, it looks like they're pulling out of the deal because of this whole situation. They're pulling out because of this agent thing. Why are AC Milan upset by it? You know, because they're going to be made to pay the fees. I just think it's greed myself. I think the agent is greedy. I mean, unless it's a accumulation of debts from the player that he owes the agent over a numerous amount of years. He hasn't paid his agents. I don't know. But we hope that one goes through. It's never simple with United. The problem with United, every summer, we always have these excuses coming along that, we can't get this player because of that. We can't get this player because of this. And it just seems like we make excuses every summer, and we end up, the pre-season comes along, and we end up making a panic buy, and it's not the player we really wanted. A bit like Casemiro a few years ago, a bit like Anthony. We ended up overpaying for Anthony, double the money Anthony was worth. And we'll probably be in this situation again. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that Wilcox and Barada, Jim Ratcliffe, etc. will get some players through the door early, because it's been a while since we saw the manager and the players standing there early in the transfer window, 5 or 6 of them, transfer done, ready for the new season. Do you remember when Alex Ferguson was manager, and we had Van der Sar, Van Gaal? We had not Van Gaal, was it? Edwin Van Gaal. Yeah, Van der Gaal. Wasn't it Van der Gaal who's the goalkeeper? Van der Gaal, Karol Poborski, I think it was Jordi Cruyff or something, but they were all in their sandals ready for the season. It was early in the transfer window, and it was good, and these days we can't seem to get deals over the line early. I don't know why. Football was simple then as well. I mean, I don't think there was many agents about. I think there were agents, but I don't think they were as greedy, and a lot of them didn't want to deal with Sir Ferguson. Yeah, it's evening in Australia. What's going on in Australia? Whereabouts in Australia? I should be going there pretty soon. I don't think United are touring Australia this year, unfortunately. They're back in America. I don't agree with United touring in America, to be honest. I think last season, it knackered us. It tired us out completely when we went to Australia went to America last year. Going to all those states every day. It was tiring, and I don't think we should be doing such strenuous tours. I think we should stay in Europe. Back in the day when Alex Ferguson was around, I know I keep bringing it back to Alex Ferguson, but those were the good days, I have to reference Alex Ferguson. He used to go to Norway, Sweden, and countries like that. It was only later down the line we started going to Japan and Thailand. But we used to go to Ireland. We used to play some behind closed doors friendlies against Rochdale and things like that. Nowadays, it's like we're going to America. We're going from one end of the country to the other. I've been across America. I know how tiring it is and what a big country it is. And those players can't get much sleep. Melbourne, what's going on, Melbourne? And Perth. Perth. Yes. Melbourne, I've got a few friends from Melbourne. Melbourne's a lovely city. But you're from Sydney. Both beautiful cities. Australia's a beautiful country. Too many spiders, though. Too many spiders and snakes. Not sure about that. Not sure about spiders and snakes. In the UAE at the moment, of course, it's 10 something. I can't see from here, but it's 10 a.m., something like that. So I'm here in the UAE doing my thing, and moved over here a couple of years ago, and yeah, never looked back. From England, from London originally, Leytonstone, just like David Beckham. Leytonstone, East London, I'm from. So last night, someone told me, "You're not a mank. You shouldn't be talking about Man United." I'm from Leytonstone, London, right? The same Leytonstone where David Beckham was from. It's the same Leytonstone where David Beckham crossed the ball for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to score the winner, to win us our greatest ever achievement. So football has moved on. Players are not from that part of the world. Neither should be the fans. Ten Hag's from Holland. It's a our club is a universal club. I just want to say that without the club, without the world, United would not be the team they are today. They would not have the same attraction. You need to look at your history if you think that Man United are truly based in just Manchester, right? You need to look at the Busby Babes, for example, where we came from, right? Where we came from. Not everyone was from Manchester. Manchester is one of the best cities in the world, but the players, the managers are great, don't always come from Manchester. So you've got to be a bit more open-minded. I'm just mentioning something from last night that someone said to me, just caught my eye. I thought it was a bit ridiculous. By the way, there's a Twitter guy who we didn't really see eye to eye, but we spoke a few times. And Rob Blanchett passed away sadly a week ago. Unfortunately, this life is short, and we have to appreciate each other. We have to try and love each other. You know, this is not a competition. You know, we're all human beings. I'm just a human being. None of us are better than anyone else. And we have to try and get on, because this is football and we love our club, and this should be a thing to bring us together, not apart. You know, because we're here for a good time and a short time. And when you hear about certain people who are relatively young passing away, it makes you think, you know, that, you know, what's it all about? Why are we fighting for? You know, when every single one of us United fans want the same thing. Just stop causing division within the fan base. We need to stop arguing with each other, because at the end of the day, we dream the same dream, we want the same thing. In the great words of Belinda Carlisle. I used to love Belinda Carlisle, by the way. Saw her live at Party in the Park in 1996, I believe it was. Yeah, 1996. What a year! That was that's such a good year. If you were around in 1996, I'll tell you, it was vibes. Yeah. Snakes and spiders in Australia. I've seen some spiders in Australia. You know, I've seen the snakes are pretty bad as well. You know, you don't want a spider crawling up his trousers. You know, that's the problem. And they have some of the most dangerous snakes in the world, don't they? Isn't the black mamba from Australia or something, the widow or something like that? I'm not sure, but I've seen programs about it. So it's quite concerning. You know, that's the only reason I haven't been to Australia. It's one of the reasons I haven't been, but it is on my bucket list. Australia's on my bucket list. I've been to Asia. I've been to the Far East. I have not stopped in Australia yet. I'm halfway there now, so I've got no excuses. I'm in the Middle East now, so I could pop over to Australia. Definitely, I would love to come to Australia. Sydney's a fantastic place. Melbourne is a vibrant city. Got a few friends in Melbourne. So I would love to visit there. It would be great if Man United were playing there this summer, because we seem to be going to America a lot lately. Is that because of the Glazers? Is that because the Glazers want to promote United and earn more money? Is it because of that United keep going to America to tour? I don't know. You know, maybe that's where the money is. Maybe that's where the big bucks is. So that's where United want to go. That's where they need to go to earn that money, regardless how strenuous it is on the players. Because at the beginning of last season, we felt it. You know that these players were tired because of the tour. Of course, it's gonna tire the players out. I go to Italy from the Middle East, right? I'm tired. God knows what those players are feeling when they're going across America, etc. Now, in regards to Man United, of course, we've got a lot of players that we've been talking about over the months. We call it silly season. Of course, Frimpong, we've got João Neves, who I'm a big fan of. Todibo Edison. players like that, of that ilk, we will be looking at, and a lot of noise will be happening across. I don't proclaim to be in the know. I'm just reading what's going on in the news and what's been circulating around here in the UAE, and it seems like there's so much noise around Man United every single summer. It seems like Man United are the only club who have this type of chaos during the summer, and it's like every year we always have something, whether it's a Greenwood situation, whether it's Schneider situation, whether it's the De Jong situation. It just seems like a complete mess every single summer, and we don't seem to get things over the line. I think down the line, once success starts coming, and hopefully success does come again, we'll start being more competent in the transfer market. Players will start wanting to come to United. Because at the moment, it seems like we're throwing money at players. We're tripling their wages. We're paying too much money for the players. At the moment, it looks like Ineos don't want to do that. They don't want to be held to ransom. I don't want to use those quotes because I've heard that before. But let's hope they're more structural with the actual transfers, that they actually got backup plans, proper backup plans, not desperate plans. Let's hope that we got real backup plans, and we go out and we start quickly bring in a player that is quality. We don't want to just sign anyone. We don't want to just sign players based on name. We don't want to just sign players because they play in the Premier League. We want to sign players that have been scouted and fit the mold. And fitting the mold don't just mean talent. It means personality, because we used to look at personality, didn't we? We used to always look at what the player did for a living, if the player was married, etc. Sir Alex Ferguson used to always look at that. You should always look at the character. And the character is the most important thing. Is that player going to come in, and is that player going to juvenize the team, the squad? Is that player going to influence the squad? Which is why I have reservations against certain players that might come to United. Tony has a bad reputation in regards to falling out with the dressing room. I've heard personally from sources, quality player, like the player a lot, scores a lot of goals and can hold up the play, would be a good option for a striker. But he's not going to play second fiddle to Højlund, is he? We need a player who's willing to play second fiddle to Højlund, or willing to rotate. Because I remember back in the old days, back in my day, we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Dwight York, Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham. You didn't hear any murmurs in the dressing room. You didn't hear any anger or disagreements. Even though Andy Cole famously didn't get on with Teddy Sheringham, you didn't hear any problems within the dressing room. You didn't hear any arguments and any leaks coming out. When they had their chance, they took their chance. They waited their turn, and they took their chance. And every single player played a pivotal role in that period. We always used to have like four main strikers. So Alex Ferguson used to go out there and buy a striker if he's short and striker. Whether that was Chicharito, whether that was Louis Saha, he used to go out and he used to buy a striker. Andy Cole, because you can never have too many strikers. You need goal scorers. We need goal scorers. What was our problem last season? It was scoring goals with a minus goal difference. We only have one striker. We don't have any wings that cross the ball for that striker, any wingers. Wingers that need to leave, I personally believe we should cash in on Anthony. I don't think it's worked out for Anthony quite how we hoped it would work. I think whilst he's relatively young, we should sell Anthony. We should get a big price for him, a decent price for him. How much will Anthony go? I don't know. It's definitely not 90 million. So I think we should look in cashing in on him. If not, it looks like Ahmed could be out the door because for some weird reason, Ten Hag doesn't fancy Ahmed by the looks of it. It obviously all depends on this pre-season. If they start games, you're gonna, it's quite possible that Ahmed could start for Man United next season. Pelistri needs to go, of course. Lindelof, I think he's on his last year of his contract. I think Lindelof will be out the door. Maguire, I would probably keep now because we're very short on defenders. I would probably keep. I would drift in Amas next season as well as a left back. I believe if they're good enough, they're old enough. I say it all the time. If they're good enough, they're old enough. I would bring in Ahmad next season. Ahmad would be not Ahmed. Sorry, Amas next season. Amas next season. I believe he's the next big thing. Obviously, we got Shia Lacey as well. So we have to bear in mind that we have got some fantastic youth prospects coming through. Our academy is what makes us. Our academy is our DNA. That's who we are. We bring through youth. But we also have to mix the youth with winners. Because back when Sir Alex Ferguson brought through the class of 92, we had winners in that team. Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Mark Hughes. We had those players, Eric Cantona. We had those players in the team already who had already won things. So we cannot just bring through youth willy-nilly. We need to think about blending it and having the correct balance of bringing through youth. And bringing through youth slowly as well. Back in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson used to bring in through youth slowly. He used to play them in the League Cup. He used to play them quite a lot in the League Cup. And the ones that prosper will get brought into the first team. The ones that didn't will get drifted out. I remember, sadly, certain players got drifted out. Terry Cook, Chris Eagles got drifted out. Phil Moran, you remember these players? Pat McGibbon, they all got drifted out. Weren't quite at the level. And of course, it is about luck as well. I remember when David Beckham made his debut and it was Galatasaray. And he took his chance. He scored a goal. He took his chance against Galatasaray. We won 4-0. And that's how you do it. You take your chances, moments. I know that moments can be overrated, but you have to have moments when you're a youngster coming into the team. You have to have something to say, that's a player, that is. Whether it's a great assist, whether it's a goal, whether it's a fantastic challenge. Kobe Mayu this season has taken his chance, more than taken his chance. When he plays, we're balanced. When he plays, we look in control of the midfield for the first time in a long time. It would be great if we can get someone to partner Mayu. Edison is a good one to partner him. It would be good if we can get someone like that to have them two in the midfield. It would be delicious. It would be delicious. So it'd be good to have a settled midfield to complement Kobe Mayu. Now, talking of Kobe Mayu, it looks like Gareth Southgate is going to keep the same team that played against Serbia. I disagree with this. I don't think the team was far wrong. I don't think it was that bad. I believe that Trent Alexander shouldn't be playing in the central midfield. If you're going to play Trent, you play him as a right back, a right wing back. Don't play Trent Alexander in the centre midfield because he's not a centre midfield. So if Southgate wasn't picking Trent before, because he wasn't picking Trent before, now all of a sudden he's picking Trent in his wrong position. It just doesn't make sense. Also, Trippier playing at left back and he's a right back. Trippier doesn't get forward enough. So I think this went under the radar a little bit. Foden was playing on the left against Serbia. So Trippier was playing on the left. Trippier is not a left-sided player. He's a right back. So we were playing Trippier as a left back and he was not getting forward and he was not complementing Foden on that left side. So you can say that. I agree somewhat with what Fabregas said on TV, that he needs to impose himself in the game, Foden, he needs to impose it just like Bellingham. But at the same time, you need your manager's help. You need tactics as well, not just effort, because they are giving effort. Some players in that England side don't know what the position is, what they're supposed to do. And when you're fitting square pegs in round holes, you're going to have problems, especially when you come up against elite opposition. And I'm disappointed Southgate has chosen to pick the same team. I don't think he should have picked the same team tonight, because Denmark will be a sterner test. They are beatable, Denmark. They're quite a slow team. Eriksen in midfield. I think England should win that game. There's no excuses. England should win that game. But you remember when England played Denmark last time, they really struggled at Wembley in the Euros, in the Euro semi-final. So they need to be wary of Denmark. Denmark know England's game. They know Southgate's game. Southgate's game doesn't take a genius to work out. Southgate is not a genius of a manager. All it takes is being a manager being a little bit more savvy on the touchline, and Southgate is outwitted. This is the problem with England. But England do survive and they do navigate their way through tournaments because they have talent. They have talent. You don't necessarily need the best players in the world to win things. You don't, right? If you look at Ten Hag, for example, Ten Hag won a trophy, playing players out of position, having so many injuries, but found a way to win a trophy. Managers like Southgate, they find excuses. They don't find a way. They find excuses not to win a trophy. So I've never seen Southgate lift a trophy. I don't think he was there 1994 League Cup final with Aston Villa. If I'm not mistaken, was he there in the League Cup final? I can't remember. I was at that final, but I can't remember if he was playing. I'll have to check. But I can't see Southgate lifting a trophy. It's just one of them things with England. They've always seems to be one problem, you know, and the problem this time is Southgate. They have generally had problems with managers like Capello, fantastic manager, legendary manager, but just didn't fit. It didn't fit. He was a defensive manager as well, and it just didn't fit, you know. Sven-Göran Eriksson, great guy, great, probably one of the better managers, but a bit naive and a bit way out there, a bit crazy. Like, for example, when he picked Theo Walcott, and he hasn't even played for England, you know, he hasn't even played in the Premier League at that time. Crazy things like that. But obviously, he did come out with genius moments, obviously, with beating Germany 5-1 in Germany. That was incredible. The best manager in my lifetime for England has been Terry Venables, God rest his soul, and Bobby Robson, God rest his soul as well. I like Terry Venables because Terry Venables, his style of play was nice. Terry Venables' style of play was entertaining. And the team played, and they played for each other. And he came within a whisker, within a doner kebab of winning the Euros in '96. Gascoigne famously had a doner kebab before the European semi-final against Germany in 1996. That's why he missed that chance when he just slid across and he just missed that chance. I saw Gascoigne on TV on one of Gary Lineker's shows, and he was talking about the time he almost signed for Man United. So Gascoigne almost signed for Man United, but he famously got a call from Tottenham Hotspur, and Tottenham Hotspur offered his dad a car and fight £100,000 or something like that, and then he ended up signing for Tottenham. Now, the rumour that with Alex Ferguson, Gascoigne under Alex Ferguson would have been brilliant. We know that. He would have nurtured Gascoigne, and Gazza would have been one of the best player in the world. He was anyway, but for a short period. But Alex Ferguson would have brought him onto a new level. Now, Gascoigne is denying this. Paul Gascoigne's denying this. Gascoigne's saying that, Alex Ferguson, he didn't look after Cantona. You know, Alex Ferguson, his players slept with this person, slept with that person, their person's brother, etc. Now, that's to do with the player itself, but it cannot be denied Alex Ferguson nurtured players. If you want to talk about Ryan Giggs in that fashion, let me correct you. Ryan Giggs, whatever he did outside of football, he didn't let it interfere with his football on the pitch. He let the football do the talking. He didn't mess himself up. He didn't eat cakes. He didn't go out on the booze. He didn't eat doner kebabs. He went and he performed and he won things. That's the difference. If you go out and you perform and you win things, that's the difference. Eric Cantona, if someone swears at your mother, someone deserves a kick, you know, and that's the whole issue with it. I actually liked what Cantona did. It wasn't right. Of course, he's a bigger man. You should ignore it. I actually liked what he did. He sent a message. But what message did that send to the players? People think that brought a negative message to the players. That kick against at Crystal Palace that night galvanized the players. Because when he came back, when we missed Cantona, that season we lost the league and we missed Cantona. But when he came back, it galvanized those young players. Yeah, that's Cantona. You don't mess with Cantona. You don't mess. And we won the double. We ended up winning the double. Right? And that's, again, performing on the pitch, being an influence in the dressing room. What you do is what you do. Alex Ferguson got the best out of players. And I'm sorry, I love Gaza, but he was wrong there to say that. He was wrong to say that, you know, certain situations that have happened at Man United are Sir Alex Ferguson's fault. I strongly disagree with that. I don't know what you think about that. What do you think about that, what I'm saying? Because I saw that the other day on Gary Lineker's show. And they're all laughing at it. They're all laughing their heads off. You know, a lot of them, Alan Shearer, for example. Alan Shearer that dislikes Manchester United. The reason he dislikes Manchester United is because he made the wrong choice. He wishes he went to Man United. Because if he went to Man United, most likely he would have won a number of trophies more. So he's bitter about that because he chose Newcastle. And he chose to win nothing at Newcastle. That's why Alan Shearer dislikes Man United. That's why when they sit on the show, they feel it's funny to take the mickey out of Man United and take the mickey out of the great Sir Alex Ferguson. It's easy for them to do that now. They're a bunch of losers, to be honest with you. And when people like Gary Lineker, we know they don't like Man United. We know you don't like Man United. But when you talk on the TV, on internet, make sure you speak the truth. Yeah? Make sure you correct people. Make sure you speak the truth. Because Alex Ferguson was the greatest. He's the greatest manager of all time. Right? And he made players better. What happened to players when they left United? Let's think about it, right? What happened to all the players that left United? How many players actually prospered when they left United? Just Cristiano Ronaldo. Beckham did okay. He did okay, but not as good as what he was at Man United. When you think about players like, those are elite players I'm talking about, but let's think about players that punched above their weight, let's so to speak. For example, John O'Shea, David May, Wes Brown, Gary Neville. They all punched above their weight. They were made better by Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, I posted a tweet earlier today with Gordon Strachan, and he was talking about Sir Alex Ferguson's training methods and the way he trains people, and he used to send them to the Alps and things like that. And imagine the players today doing that. Imagine the players being sent to the Alps to train in cold weather training, not hot weather training, not in Dubai, cold weather training. Mad, isn't it? That is hard work. That is what I'm talking about. You see, that is why Sir Alex Ferguson's the greatest. And when I see people trying to mock him, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because I know that a lot of these, like, if you had a chance to sign for a club, right, and you said, no, I'm going to go to that club, then that club you didn't sign for goes on to win endless amounts of trophies, right? You're going to have a little bit of ill feeling, innit? You're going to have like, I hope they fail. Deep down, you're going to think, I don't want them to do well, because if they do well, it's going to make me look like a right prat. A bit like Ten Hag outers. You know the Ten Hag outers who called for Ten Hag to be sacked early and celebrated early, prematurely. A bit like that, when they're made to look like a prat when he ended up staying and winning the FA Cup. You would have bitter feelings towards that team, because you want them to do badly, so your choice looks like the right choice. And you can say to yourself, I made the right choice. Now, I would get more respect out of someone who said, you know what, I wish I went to Man United. I do. I wish I signed for Alex Ferguson at the time, but, you know, I got swayed. I was young. I was naive, blah, blah, blah. I would respect it more if a manager, if an ex-player did that. I would respect it more. So, you know, when you look at Gascoigne, you look at the way his career developed, he ended up at Glasgow Rangers. No offence to Glasgow Rangers, fantastic club, but Glasgow Rangers was too small for Gascoigne at the time. I remember players like Paolo Negri going to Glasgow Rangers and scoring bags of goals, you know, and Chris Sutton going to Celtic and scoring bags of goals and scoring only one goal at Chelsea. You know, I like the Scottish League. I think the Scottish League is weak, though, and unfortunately, it rubs off on Glasgow Rangers and Celtic. I think when Glasgow Rangers and Celtic go into Europe, they struggle a bit because of the quality jump. It's a bit like PSG. The quality jump is big. From 1 minute you're playing St Mirren, the next minute you're playing Barcelona at the Nou Camp. It's a big difference, isn't it? And that's the problem with the Scottish club. But anyway, in regards to Gaza, yeah, he ended up going to Rangers. He went all around. He ended up going to Boston United. I remember when I was living in Leighton in East London, he was playing in my back garden, because Leighton Orient was my back garden. He was playing for Boston United. Couldn't believe Gaza was in my back garden. I couldn't believe that's Gaza in my back garden, you know. And the decline of Gaza is a huge part of that is how he was managed, I believe. I believe he was managed poorly. During World Cup 98, I think he was unfairly treated before the tournament. Even to have Gaza there on the bench, it would have been brilliant to have Gaza there on the bench instead of players like David Batty. You know, we needed a player like Gaza. Imagine the Argentina game, it's extra time we bring on Gaza. It would have been, you know, we probably would have won the game. And, you know, you can't just dismiss everything he done during that year and then just, you know, say like, you know, you're not ready. I don't think, you know, in the right frame of mind, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this conversation is going everywhere, but this is how I do things. Please smash a like on the video and please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. It means a lot. I'm trying to build my subscribers up. I'm on the road to 10,000. I need to get to 10,000 quick. I've been away for a while. My channel is back, Chatterbox, and this Breaking Dawn will be a daily thing. I will be doing a watch along tonight for the England game against Denmark. God help us. I might do a watch along for Spain against Italy. Italy are my second team, of course, with an Italian background, but I am definitely watching the England game. 100% watching the England game, and hopefully England do the business tonight. It's not going to be pretty. Don't expect entertainment. It might even be 1-0 again. So I'm hoping they do the business tonight and just navigate their way through the tournament, because that's what England seem to do, is navigate their way through the tournament. No frills, navigating their way through the tournament. Now, any other news on Man United? Well, we've got obviously the Jarrett Braithwaite one I've spoken about. The contract Nero I've spoken about. Gonzalo Ignacio. Ebola were reporting that Ignacio is wanted by United from Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon player. We have a decent record with Sporting Lisbon players. We've done well. Obviously, bought Nani from there. We bought Ronaldo from there. And they have a good network or a good scouting, a good youth academy. They have a good academy, and they bring through some very talented players. And then they bring through charisma, players like that. They do have a very good academy. And I wouldn't say no to bringing players from Sporting Lisbon, because they have been doing recently well. Vitor Roque, I've spoken to. Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is a player on loan at Leipzig. I spoke about it yesterday. Still no news about him. 21 years old, on loan at Leipzig from PSG. It looks like we are after Xavi Simons. Haven't seen much of him, to be honest. Plays for Holland and he's played the other day for Holland. I'm not sure if he's the right player we should be going for. As I said yesterday, the Eredivisie has gone down in quality. It's not like the days with Jaap Stam and Ruud van Nistelrooy. The quality has decreased a bit. So I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure about that. Of course, Todibo looks like he's off the list. Unfortunately, sadly, Todibo looks like he's off the list, and we won't be signing him. Frimpong, no news on Frimpong. I'm happy with Dalot. I think Dalot was brilliant last season, although we do need more of a productive winger. Frimpong is an incredible assist record, can cross the ball and score a goal. So I think Todibo would be a brilliant signing for United should we make that happen. But Leverkusen are in the Champions League. Of course, we're in the Europa League. Will the lure of Man United still be there? It's doubtful, but we have to wait and see. João Neves should be top of the list of our priorities, but his price tag may cause an issue. Obviously, he has a release clause, I think, of 90 million euros. So will United go that high for one player? He's a generational talent. I don't know why Martinez didn't play him the other day, start him the other day. For me, Portugal looked slow and sluggish. I think they looked aging. Pepe and Ronaldo, of course, in their team, combined age of like 80-something. So, they need to think about the future. João Neves is the future. I think before someone else signs him, we should really try and get him. We should really try and pull out all the stops to try and get João Neves this summer. So it would be a fantastic signing for us, and it will boost, obviously, the team. We need a midfielder to partner mainly. Ederson or João Neves for me in that midfield. If we sign one of those two, or if we sign both of them, imagine that. But I doubt it's going to happen. Fair play, fair play, financial fair play, all that. Financial fair play, seems to be the word, the buzzword for Man United. Financial fair play seems to be the buzzword for the Glazers, and that's what they use. Any excuse. Player's cap died, so we couldn't sign him on that day, so we're not going to sign him. It's like that. It's like that. No caps were harmed in this conversation. It's just an example. So this is the issue we're having. With Todibo, it's another excuse. They probably won't sign Todibo now. It's another one. Braithwaite being held to ransom. It's another one. We've heard that before. Of course, we don't want to overpay for Braithwaite. 50 would be my maximum. Probably 10 million in incentives, international appearances, goal bonuses, assist bonuses, etc. So that's the news for today. Please smash a like and please subscribe to the channel. Breaking Dawn will be a daily thing, 7 a.m. Middle Eastern time, 10 10 a.m. Middle Eastern time. See, I'm still in UK time. 10 a.m. Middle Eastern time, 7 a.m. UK time. So please smash a like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Put the notification on. Please retweet and get the message across. We're in this together. We're going to be here and we're going to grow together and we're going to build this channel. Even though we're small numbers at the moment, we will get there. And persistence is key. And nothing is a failure if you're persistent. You know, if you're persistent, you never know what can happen, you know, and it can grow. This is Sal Warner bringing you Breaking Dawn. I shall see you tonight at the England game, Denmark, England. I will be on air at 7:30 UK time. I'll be on air 7:30 UK time for England against Denmark. I'll be calling that game. Try not to board out. If I do wear these, the famous sunglasses, that means I've fallen asleep because it's Southgate ball, isn't it? Guys, thank you so much. Have a brilliant day, and I shall see you very, very soon.